Hello everybody, this is Havoc and welcome to the first part of the Pompey 1.1 update for Imperator Rome. This update is the first step towards what the community expected on launch, and the list of improvements is pretty dang extensive. Even going over them broadly could easily take up an hour of time, but you know me, and I don't do long form videos. So, I'll be breaking these up into different coherent sections so you can pick and choose what you'd like to see. I'll be starting by going over the more feature-friendly updates to the game. These are taken from the patch notes released a few days ago, so if you want the exact detailed list, you can find it in the description below. As always, let's dive in. Civil wars are now determined by what is called a power base, where a certain percentage of total characters need to be disloyal before a civil war can occur. All countries have a base 25% power base, with other modifiers influencing that percentage needed for a civil war. Stability is no longer a -3 to a +3 scale, it now works from 0 to 100, always wanting to balance at 50. If your stability is below 50, it lowers the power base percentage needed for a civil war as I mentioned earlier, as well as affecting things like unrest, happiness, and loyalty. You get that above 50, it increases research, commerce pop growth, and increases the power base needed for a civil war. So as you can see, stability and civil wars very much go hand in hand. Sacrificing a pig no longer gives that instant stability boost, rather it is a percentage increase over time. Multiple sacrifices will just increase the rate at which that stability accrues. War exhaustion works in a similar manner to stability in terms of removing the instant decrease ability. It is simply like stability in that war exhaustion will tick down by various increments depending on how many times you click the button. We finally have a ledger, which was one of the most requested features in the base game. This will sort out a whole host of data. The country ledger breaks down your military power, populations, traditions, stability, and a whole bunch of other factors. The ruler's ledger breaks down all of your rulers, letting you interact with every single one of them. Provinces gives you all the provinces your country is currently in, with pops, trade routes, loyalty, etc., etc. Your inventions ledger gives you all the inventions you've researched throughout the game, and the rulers lists all of the previous rulers you've ever had in the current country. It's a little bit of role play and just kind of seeing where your country has been. Holdings have been reworked. 10 slaves in a city are required to have one single holding. A character can have multiple holdings dependent primarily on their finesse rating. Unowned holdings can be gifted to a character for loyalty boosts and other things like that, or can be purchased by characters not in your control. The holding provides the owner with income, boosting their personal wealth, and you cannot move or promote a slave pop in a city if that means a character will lose a holding in that city. All religions now have their own omens, adding their own special flares. Several countries have even more specific omens, and Paradox will aim to keep adding country-specific omens as the game gets patched. Sort of along with omens is the possibility of converting religions as a country. Only possible if the high priest is of that new religion and a majority of your pops follow said religion. But it is also up to the government type. Republics require the approval of the Senate, monarchs need 70 legitimacy, and your tribes will need approval from the clan chiefs. Each country now has its own heritages as well, giving a passive bonus and a passive penalty in some area related to the country's capital location. It's fair to say that countries will share the same heritage effects as omens, as we will also have a list of specific country heritages for the larger, more well-played countries. I really enjoyed the macro builder on the left-hand side, similar to EU4. It worked really well, but now we have even more options to deal with, as we can not only assimilate or convert pops through it. If you're going to build a building, we can see the expected return depending on where you decide to build it. Not to mention, we also have a filter by which it lists what city will give you the highest return based on what type of building you're building. We now have a series of navigable rivers to traverse in, adding a good layer of strategy to count to countries that were otherwise landlocked in the base game. These rivers can be crossed by troops at specific locations and can be blockaded like straits by a navy. There are about a dozen volcanoes across the map that will erupt, which can have a devastating effect on the cities they are near to. These cities will suffer population declines and other economical effects until it's cleaned up, though Paradox did not say just how that cleanup will occur. And that's all I'm going to cover on the new features section for Imperator Rome in the Pompey update. Again, I did not cover everything and rarely anything in much detail, so be sure to check the actual patch notes for clarification. This is one step towards a better game, and the rest of the patch notes only add to that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe to the channel. I'll be covering the rest of the patch notes in separate videos, so stay tuned to the channel for more. The Pompey update is live today, as of June the 26th, so simply update your game, and you'll be good to go. Thanks for watching, this is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.